Hiya, I just wanted to go through the having clause of SQL select statement with you. So I've got a little example here. I attempted a year ago to make this sort of little animation, and now I'm actually going to talk through it. So I've got a subsection of the country table from the world database, which hopefully you've imported into MariaDB. And we've got a query here which will display the average life expectancy for every non-European continent, which has a total population of over 30 million. And this results in ascending order. Right, fair enough. So here's my query here. I'm just going to show you working through it. So you might remember the order of execution. We begin with the from clause. So from country. Here we go. Let's see if we can actually play it. From country is the first thing that happens. So it basically gets the table ready, gets the tables that it needs. Then we're on to the where clause. So having does a similar job to where, but it does it to groups. So it applies criteria to groups. So that's why you can see it is placed after group by in the order of clauses here. Where applies to individual rows, having applies to groups. Other than that, they're a similar idea, where and having. We only use having when we've used group by though. Anyway, you can see I've thought through very clearly what I'm about to say here as I stumble my way through it, but bear with me. It's like a real true-to-life classroom experience for you. Shoddy and rambling, that's what I mean by that. Okay, so we've got that, and now it's going to be where the continent is not Europe. There's that not logical operator from an earlier lesson. So basically, this is how I visualize it, or how I've chosen to visualize it here. It's going through everyone, checking to see the continent. So every row checks to see the continent. Europe, not happening, because we're not interested in those that are Europe. Again, Lithuania in Europe there, not happening. And so it goes through it. And it builds up its result set. In other words, the set of rows that it returns to us as a result of the select query. So it goes through that. And next we're on to group by. So group by, you'll remember from higher, basically means group these records that we've got in the result set, group them together based on them having the same value in the field listed here. So group by continent means all the rows that have the exact same value in continent will be grouped together. And so that's why we typically use group by where we're using aggregate functions as well. They're kind of closely linked. It's not necessarily, but where we're grouping things together, we can then apply aggregate functions to each group. Anyway, so it's going to group by. Again, this is just how I'm visualizing it happening. So finds all the ones in. I don't even know how you say that. Oceania. Let's go with that. So they get grouped together because they've got the exact same value there, and so on. Worth remembering as well, you can have more than one field in the group by clause. So if you had two fields there, it would group them together based on them having the exact same value in both of those fields. So now that we've done the grouping, now we can apply the having clause. So having sum of the population greater than 30 million. So it's going to have to use this aggregate function, and it's going to apply it to each group. So it's going to, whereas where filters out the individual rows, once we've done that and grouped the rows, we can use having to filter out the groups. Basically get rid of the groups we don't want to show and keep the ones we do. So it's going to, for each group, it's going to check the population, the total population within that group, and if it's more than 30 million, then it keeps that in the results, and if not, it doesn't. So let's see the dismal way in which I've attempted to visualize that there. So, you know, the populations for every row that is in the group for Oceania. They get totaled together, and not more than 30 million. So it's discarded. It's not in the results anymore. Okay, that's more than 30 million, more than 30 million, and presumably more than 30 million here. Okay, excellent. So that's what having does. It goes through groups that have been created in generating our result set. And now you might remember order of execution. We now actually go back to the select clause, and it's going to just get the continent. It's going to also get the average of the life expectancy within each group, and display that. So let's see the again terrible way in which I'm choosing to visualize this, but it was the best I could do at the time, and an alias being applied there. So we're averaging the life expectancy for Asia and applying an alias to it, and so on. And once that's done, then we'll move on to the order by column, sort them by the average life expectancy, descend in order, and stunning. And there's our final result set. So, I was distracted there because I looked at this and I thought, did I stop recording only a minute and a half in? But no, I got confused. It's a painful 6.5 minutes. The key idea here is, I understand it can be tough to start sticking having into your queries and actually knowing when to use it, but it's about having filtered out groups. Having filtered out rows, you can then use having to sort out the groups and decide which ones you want displayed. I think that'll do. You can have a go at some tasks. See ya.